Hi mate, are you looking for some great core exercises but you're sick of doing sit-ups and side crunches and bicycles? Well, today I'm going to show you the 3 best core exercises that you've probably never heard of. Let's check it out. So all the core exercises we're doing here, they're all going to be anti-movement exercises. So an example for that, everyone has done a plank before. When we're doing a plank, we're in this position. What's happening is our body's wanting to dump the hips in this position here. But what we're doing for a plank is we're resisting that urge, therefore switching our core on, okay? So rather than just doing crunches, we're just using how the muscle action works. We're going to work on how it functionally works in our body, which is resist the urge to extend, okay? That's what the role of our core is to actually do. You're resisting the urge to lose the position. So really, these 3 core exercises that I show you are going to make a lot more sense and are going to lead to better gains in other areas in your workouts. Okay, so the first one I had to go into, which was a plank, okay? And I'm not talking about just any kind of plank. This one is called the RKC plank, okay? RKC, for your information, stands for Russian Kettlebell Challenge, okay? So what we'll do for this one is it's like your normal plank that you would do on your elbows, except it's a lot more intense, okay? And when you try this out, you'll soon find out. Okay, so what's the difference with it? Is you're going to be focusing on squeezing your butt, tucking your butt under a lot more, and then do something that we call which is protraction. So what protraction is, usually in a normal plank, you're just going to be holding in a more upright position, but with an RKC plank, what you're doing is you're squeezing your hands and you're actually pushing shoulder blades back and away from each other. So if you imagine that you've got your chest and someone is pushing your chest through your back, and it looks like I'm getting a bit of a curvature of my T-spine, which I am, which is very difficult to hold if you don't have the mobility in there. So the way it looks like is you're going to start off like any normal plank. So feet are going to be just hip width apart, shoulder width apart, whatever level you're at. But what we're going to focus on is really squeezing those hands here and then driving those elbows away from us, okay? So you're going to be pushing into the floor and away, okay? So it's going to look like this. So a normal plank, we would see something like this. So you're just going to be squeezing your butt and then just something like a normal upright posture. With this one, what I'm going to be doing is driving my elbows forward and then pushing through my mid back, okay? And then tucking my butt under just a little bit more. So what's happening here is in this position, I'm really working my core a lot more than if I was in a more extended position, okay? So if I tuck under and then I push my back here, what I'm doing is if we look at these 2 spots here, I'm bringing them together, which means your abs are getting more contracted than if they were in that neutral position. And that's why this is so much harder. So what you have to do while you're doing this one is you're going to be driving these elbows out, pushing through, and really focus on breathing into your back while you're doing this. So take a breath in and then breath out. And you'll find this a lot more intenser than your normal average plank. Okay, so with this next one, again, this is more of an anti-exercise. So in other words, instead of doing the actual movement like you would do side crunches for this one, we're going to be working the obliques by resisting the urge to go into flexion. In technical terms, you call this an anti-lateral flexion exercise because you're resisting the urge to flex to the side, okay? So this one's called the single arms farmer's walk or suitcase farmer's walk, whatever you want to call it. So the idea with this one is you're going to be holding the kettlebell and trying to stay as upright as possible while you go for a walk around the gym, okay? And what you'll find is in the arm that you're working here, not only working the shoulders here, but you're really working that oblique because it's really resisting the urge to fall down to the floor like that. So all you have to make sure to do for this one is make sure to stay as upright as possible. If you start to begin to walk around like that around the gym, you're not going to get the most out of this exercise. The whole idea to this is try to stay as neutral as you can in your spine. Keep your butt tucked under, nice and neutral like so. You don't want to be sticking your butt out or anything like that where your core switches off. You want to keep everything under, tuck your bum, squeeze your butt, keep your shoulders down towards the floor, and then just going for a walk. Or if you find that really hard, even just standing here, I can feel that really working my obliques, especially on this side. Okay, so for this one, this is working more your transverse abdominis. So what that means is your transverse abdominis just helps you with rotation, okay? So normally in the gym, you'll see people doing stuff like their bicycles, or they'll do those Russian twists, those sort of things where they're really doing heavy twisting with their abs. Again, that's going to be working that muscle specifically, but this is going to work it in a different way, as in you're going to be working the muscle without moving it. So the idea here is we're working your transverse abdominis, because what we're going to do with this band is we're going to pull it out, and our body is going to want to twist in this certain direction. So your transverse abdominis has got to resist that urge to do it. Again, you're going to be working that muscle, okay? So the way we do that is, this one's called pallor press, okay? So we're going to get into a wider stance here. You can either do this with a band or even a cable that you can bump up the weight as you go. I've just used a band today. And where we're starting is we're going to hold it in the center of where our sternum is, and we're just going to press out. We're going to squeeze our butt, spread the floor a bit, and we're going to gently push out. And the further we press out, the harder it's going to be to keep this straight position. Because the further we press out, the easier it is for the resistance to pull us into that direction, okay? So there's lots of different variations to this one. You can do it half kneeling like so, pressing out, or tall kneeling. If you want to, you can even make it a little bit harder if you bring your feet together, because that's going to make a smaller stance, make it a lot easier to pull you over than if you're a really wide stance. That's going to make it a lot harder for the resistance to pull you over, okay? So wide stance is going to be easier, closer stance is going to be a lot harder. So if we look at this from the side view, what we're making sure to do is we have our feet a little bit wide, again at chest, and we're making sure that we're not overarching or over tucking here. So you're going to be squeezing your butt, that's most important, and then we're going to gently be pressing out and resisting that urge. Make sure you do from both sides, because that's going to be working different parts of your transverse abdominis. Anyway, there you have it. Make sure to add some of those into your workout. The RKC plank is definitely the hardest plank that I've ever done in my life, so really enjoy using that one. Usually it's a good idea to add these at the end of your workout after you've done all your big, heavy compound movements. I'm sure you'll find that these are a lot better than just training side crunches, and you'll also find you'll probably get more benefit of them, and they'll make you better at the other movements like your squat, deadlifts, and bench press, okay? But if you're having trouble getting back into the gym, you get out of pain, you go back to the gym, and you get into more pain, and you keep going in this roundabout circle, I've got a special guide for you, which is called the 7 lifts to bulletproof your body after injury. This is a little guide I put together of all the 7 big lifts that you do in the gym, making sure that you get the right technique so that you're less likely to get pain or injury when you go back into the gym. I'll pop the details in the description box below, and you can download that right away. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. My name's Adam, and I help you return to the gym and stay there.